Hello, my name is Justin. I'm a guitar teacher based in Singapore and I've been teaching for close to about 15 years now. In this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about why close to 80% of working adults fail to pick up the guitar. So I'm making this video for you if you're thinking of picking up the guitar and you're a working adult and you realize and you just want to know what is the mindset you need to have in order to pick up the guitar. Here are a few reasons why working adults fail at picking up the guitar. The first reason is not prioritizing practicing. Now this seems like a very obvious reason why, right? And I'm sure that every adult learner has this at the back of their minds that you have to prioritize practicing the guitar. But I think people are not fully aware of how important it is to put practicing as part of the process of learning how to play guitar. But especially for an activity like learning guitar, it's so important to practice and to prioritize practice to build up muscles and the stamina. Now, a lot of working adults will eventually say, hey, I've got work, I've got kids, I've got family to take care of, and that's understandable. That is perfectly understandable. That is our biggest thing as working adults, right? However, I will have to say here that if you choose to pick up the guitar and you want to get a decent skill on it, then you have to think about how you want to prioritize practicing the guitar, because there's always going to be family, there's always going to be kids, there's always going to be work as part of your list of high priorities in your day. If you choose to prioritize guitar as a very low activity, then there's a high chance you won't get around to practicing. And that to me is really the big reason why you are not picking up as well as you want on the guitar. Consistency is key. That's the second reason. And I know that that's another obvious reason, but having taught so many adult learners over the years, I've come to realize that having an idea of what consistency is and what do you mean by consistency is very important to spell out. Consistent practice means that within a week, for example, you need to make sure that not only are you practicing as soon as you can after the lesson, but also at least to have about 2 to 3 times of practice during the week. The problem with a lot of adult learners, in my experience, is that they don't practice at all, number one, so the consistency is out the window. And 2, they only start practicing after 3 to 4 days. If you don't practice for about 4 days, you're going to forget everything that you've learned. And then when you pick up the guitar to learn it, not only will you be practicing wrongly, but you will miss out on the things that you should be practicing on and all that. Now the third reason is a strong statement I'm going to make. The statement is you just don't want it badly enough. Let me give you an extreme example. Once in a while, I'll get emails or phone calls from aspiring adult learners, and I'll be spending multiple sessions before the lesson starts, talking to them for like half an hour or long text messages, and they'll be telling me their life story about how, I've always wanted to pick up guitar from young, but life got in the way. Work and family. I'm now in my 40s, I'm now in my 50s, and I feel that now is a good time to pick up the guitar. However, sad to say that these group of people are usually the first to quit, or they quit really fast. Some of them quit after the first lesson, some of them quit after 1 month. And the reason why this happens is really because you just don't want it enough. If your intention is to really learn guitar and you really like the guitar, then there was no stopping you 10 years ago, 5 years ago from picking it up to begin with. It's really because you just don't want it enough. And thinking that you can pick it up right now when you've got a stable job, when your kids are of a certain age and trying to pick up the guitar isn't going to change that mindset. Because there's always going to be family, there's always going to be work that is going to stop you from picking up the guitar or continuing with lessons. So it's not so much that you have to wait till life settles, till you're comfortable to be able to pick up the guitar. It's just you don't want it enough to the point where you can't set aside time for it. I've talked about the very negative things of why working adults often fail at learning the guitar and picking it up. Let's talk about some solutions, okay? So one of my favorite questions is asking people, how long do you think you should be practicing? And most people will come up with answers between 15 minutes to an hour, and that's great, but I really think that you just need 5 minutes to practice guitar, especially if you're a complete beginner. Think about it, the basic concepts you learn, like learning how to press the G chord or the C chord, or learning how to even change the chords, doesn't take that long to practice, and you shouldn't be practicing that long because not only will you get too tired, but you might get demoralized, especially if you're having a bad day and nothing seems to be happening. And especially as working adults, 5 to 8 minutes is a manageable time. The problem is that if you tell yourself that, oh, I need 15 minutes, I need half an hour to practice, the problem is at the end of the long day after work, after you have your dinner, you take a shower, you tuck your kids to sleep, you look at the clock and it's already 9:30 p.m. or 10 p.m. and you'll be like, oh, no, it's too late. I think 15 minutes is a bit too long to practice. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then before you know it, you put it off too long, and then before you know it, you don't practice at all. But with 5 to 8 minutes, it's really manageable. You can do it any time of the day, maybe before you go to work, maybe during lunchtime, maybe just after dinner. And as a guitar teacher, I just like to say that if you can't even practice for 5 minutes, then why bother picking up the guitar? The second thing is, practicing the guitar is just like running, exercise. You need to run enough to like it. Everybody hates running at the beginning, but you need to do it consistently and keep running to the point where you start to enjoy it. And then you can actually start to run longer. It's the same for guitar. You need to keep at it. For some people, it might feel like a chore at the beginning to sit down on the guitar and work it out, because it can be an uphill battle at the beginning especially. But you have to keep at it, and I guarantee you that you will start to see results after 2 to 3 days of practicing. The working adults that I've taught so far that have been quite successful in learning the guitar are those that firstly practice as consistently as they can, say every 2 days for example, and they actually like the practicing. The third way you can succeed at learning the guitar as a working adult is to keep a practice schedule. Now, you don't have to keep a diary, you have your phones, but a practice schedule can be as simple as telling yourself, okay, every day at 7:30 p.m. or 8 p.m. I'm going to practice. Another thing I'd like you to try is to time yourself. Take your phone's timer, put it in front of you, and after a while look up and see how much you've practiced. You'll be surprised at how very little you've practiced actually, because time is quite relative in this case. It might seem you've been practicing for like 10 minutes, but perhaps you've only been practicing for 2 minutes. So by keeping track of how much you've been practicing, you'll be able to know how much time you have actually tracked. Now I hope this video helps you in understanding what it takes to pick up the guitar as a working adult, and I hope it doesn't come across as like it's an uphill battle. I hope this video has been helpful in helping you to see that picking up the guitar is a lifestyle choice, and if you put enough consistency into the practice, you will start seeing results. If you like this video and you like the information I presented, do subscribe and do follow my channel. I will be putting up more videos on how to get better at guitar. Do leave any comments if you have any questions that you would like me to address. Thank you so much for watching.